Video. Nnamdi Kanu rose like a lion that he is as Nigerian court denies him transfer from DSS custody to Kuje prison. Hear the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel / television this very moment. Today's date is 28th of May 2024, and I have a very important information for every one of you listening to my voice right now from where you are all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people, I don't want to waste your time. Let me just go straight and read the news in details, and after that, I will then play the video for you. So I want to first of all read what has been reported by one of the Zugota media platform, the Punch newspaper. They said, video. Any court trying me is committing terrorism, says Nnamdi Kanu. That is exactly what it is. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has claimed that he cannot be tried in any Nigerian court, citing the country's constitution and international laws. He said, any court trying him is committing terrorism. Following a federal high court ruling in Abuja that dismissed his application for bail and transfer from Department of State Services DSS custody on Monday, Kanu addressed journalists at the court premises, asserting that the Terrorism Prohibition and Prevention Act prohibits his trial in Nigeria. According to Kanu, the law states that he cannot be tried in any Nigerian court. He quoted Section 2, Subsection 3, F of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act, which he claims labels anyone attempting to try him as a terrorist. Kanu emphasized that any court proceeding with his trial will be committing an act of terrorism according to the law. Yes, according to the law. You know, they thought we don't know law. They forgot that we know from A to Z of the so-called Constitution of Nigeria. It has already been pronounced by the Court of Appeal that no court in the zoo, no court, including the Supreme Court, no court in Nigeria that has the legal right to try Nnamdi Kanu in the zoo. No court, including the Supreme Court. Given the state of his, rendition to the Zoological Republic, you cannot go and kidnap somebody. Actually, the people or the organization or the person, had it been that Nigeria is a person, but even though Nigeria is not a person, somebody authorized that kidnap in the person of Attorney General of the Federation, Malami. Malami is the one should be standing trial as it stands today in Nigeria. Malami and the person they used, the person who wore mask as Buhari, they have to provide that person. Even though the person is still wearing mask till today, they have to provide that person to stand trial in the name of Buhari. They are the people who are supposed to be standing trial today, including the DSS, general. Not Nnamdi Kanu. You cannot go to a foreign country and kidnap somebody in the name of a fugitive. You brought that person forcefully. You forcefully brought that person to Nigeria in order to stand trial. Are you insane? Now let's listen to Nnamdi Kanu. He said, Terrorism Prohibition and Prevention Act said that I cannot be tried in Nigeria. That is the law of Nigeria. I can never be tried in any court of law in Nigeria. That is what the law says. Anyone standing in trial or coming to try me is a terrorist. That is what the law says, not me. Section 2, Subsection 3F of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act, that is what it says. Any court continuing to try me is committing an act of terrorism. Any court continuing to try me is committing an act of terrorism. That is what Nnamdi Kanu said. And that is final. Now, earlier in the day, before playing this all-important video for you, let me show you how it started. Just 1 minute, only but 1 minute, and then I'll play the video for you. I know all of you want to watch the video and listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to say. Now, I'm going to make it very, very snappy. I will make it snappy so I don't waste your time before playing the video for you. Now, pay attention. I will be reading this one from Channels Television, and according to their headline, they said, Court dismisses Nnamdi Kanu's fresh bail request, removal from DSS custody. Kanu also berated, insisting not to stand trial before any court in Nigeria. This is a breaking news happening just few minutes as at the time of recording this very news. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the request by the detained leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for the restoration of his revoked bail and the removal from the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, to a house arrest or prison custody. The judge said that the same request had been brought before her by Kanu, dismissing it for want of merit. In a ruling on Kanu's request, Justice Nyako said that she found as a fact that Kanu jumped the bail earlier granted him and escaped out of the country. Hey! Hello, Melody Zoo! Hey! The zoo has finally gotten this woman. I said it previously when I was addressing her. I told her, look, we know that the zoo, Fulani, is holding you captive. We know. Because of your husband and your first son. Because of the money laundering case that your husband is facing in the zoo as the then governor of Adamawa State. 29 billion naira fraud allegedly committed by your husband, Binta Nyako, I'm talking to you. Because of the 29 billion naira for money laundering case that your husband is facing, including your son. And you were threatened in the year 2017 that should you allow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go, they are going to jail your husband and your son. We all know this. That is the reason why today you have somersaulted. You have insulted your own self by going against the rule of law. Even a court in Abia State, run by the same Nigeria that you are serving, has declared Mazi Nnamdi Kanu innocent of that very allegation of jumping bail. And here you are claiming that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail. So you are going to stay when you see or you hear that the soldiers have invaded, not even here. When you see with your own eyes that the zoo soldiers, the murderous Nigerian army, has invaded your house to assassinate you, you are going to stay there and tell them, okay, come and assassinate me, because I don't want to, jump bail. Mad people everywhere. Oh, you think we are going to be panicking because of this nonsense? And she continued. The judge also held that the shorties who stood for him in the earlier bail had applied to be discharged and had been discharged on the ground that they could not locate Kanu and did not know his whereabouts. Justice Nyako said that the only option left for Kanu was to go to the Court of Appeal and should proceed to the Appellate Court to exercise his right of appeal. You see that? So I don't want to continue reading because maybe I'm going to talk about this during my live broadcast. I will deal with this, of course, during my live broadcast. So what I'm going to do right now is, of course, to play the video for you. And you know what to do as you watch the video. And make it go viral. We are not panicking no matter what the zoo does.
Prison Prohibition and Prevention Act says I cannot be tried in Nigeria. That's the law of Nigeria. I can never be tried in any court of law in Nigeria. That's what the law says. Anybody standing in trial or coming to try me is a terrorist. That's what their law says. Not me. As simple as that. Section 2, subsection 3F of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. That's what it says. Any court considered to try me is committed an act of terrorism. Yes. Very clear. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then come to try that very person. It's not done anywhere. So you must be aware of that. So that is why there is all these ridiculous delays. That is what Supreme Court said. I did not jump bail. My home was invaded. They came to kill me and I survived. They came to Kenya to kidnap me, brought me back to this country and seeking to try me, which the law says cannot happen. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then hope to stand on that illegality to conduct a trial. Is not done anywhere in the world. and have the market. Nobody had, there's no exception. No exception whatsoever. That's what the law says. Section 12 of the Constitution, what does it say? Any treaty ratified by Nigeria becomes law. It's law. You cannot change it. It doesn't matter what they do. All these shenanigans is just pure rubbish. You never stand. Not with me. Okay. I believe in justice and fairness. That's all.
Nigeria has signed to survive, not for admission.